I think we're a little bit short on time with Lizzie, but Lizzie has very kindly and generously agreed to jump on and give us a quick. You might have heard quite a few testimonials from Lizzie. Lizzie, you've done several Inspire programs, and I thought you'd be a great person to come in and just give us a scoop. And you've been in this work for some time. Tell us about Inspire and what it is and what it's done for you. So different kind of questions we want to normally ask.
Inspire specifically, I think, really was the start of what I call the awakening of the leader in me. I came into Inspire very, very confident in certain areas of my life where I had all the textbook knowledge, I had the qualifications, trained up to the hills. But as soon as I stood up in front of a room of people and needed to call cues, it was like all of that disappeared. Huge perfectionist tendencies, didn't want to be seen, didn't want to be vulnerable. And I came into Inspire, did the training, came out with a confidence that was actually genuine, rather than this kind of up here, I know what's going on. It was something that I felt inside, and it wasn't forced. It was so natural, and I was able to take it and teach yoga. I took it into the work that I was doing at that time. I had a tuition business. My clients were like, "You've just changed completely," and into my relationships, my friendships as well. And I kind of just noticed everyone's energy changed around me. I think because they were feeling a change in me too. Um, and that really came from that first Inspire I did back in July 2021. It just gave me, it sparked this kind of the leader that I knew was in me.
And again, a different kind of question, what is the effect it's had on your life and also that you've noticed on, people's lives around you that have done, this process that you've been through now several times of the Inspire, I mean.
Oh my gosh, I don't know where to start. There's no way I'd be running the business that I am because I wouldn't have the confidence to get my face on a screen, to share actually what's going on in here, and to believe it in the first place, to actually have conviction. And I got that from teaching yoga, because if I could stand in front of a room and have conviction in my teaching and call it posture and have belief in that posture, then I knew that the response was going to come at the same frequency. And I get that now in my business because I actually believe what I'm saying. Other people are believing it too. So that's been huge. And as a result of that, I'm healing this disease. And there's no fucking evidence out there. There's like bazilch. I mean, I really deserve to end up in like a Guinness Book of World Records at some point. If I get to the end of this thing and heal it, not if, when, like,
Yeah.
it will be pretty monumental in terms of turning upside down what genetics, DNA, medical science believes right now. And I've got no fucking evidence. I've got no proof for it. I literally just believe I can do it.
You- But
And
you
then,
got some evidence that it's been working though, right?
well, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it come, yeah. So because I started believing it, uh, what I needed to do came to me and fell in place, and I just followed it. And I've got I'm starting to get scan results back. I'm bucking the trend. So everything that should be happening is not happening. The opposite is happening, and people are like, but even the kind of the medical consultants are looking at me, and they're not allowed to agree with me. They can't endorse what I'm doing. But instead of being met with disagreement or resistance, I'm just met with a kind of like a funny silence and a smile, which is like, we know what you're doing, just like keep doing it. We can't endorse it, type of thing, which is amazing. But I'm not going to wait around for them. So I wouldn't have that without Inspire. I wouldn't have that without Inspire. I wouldn't have the relationships I do. Um, I I would say, I wouldn't have the kind of success, the happiness. I just wake up every day now, and not without effort and not without something that I do in order to have it, but like my default setting is easeful and calm and abundant. And that's a work in progress, but like I wouldn't have even known what abundance was before I came into this.
Wow. And what would you say to anyone who's considering, this? Because, I think you had your own blocks coming in. Maybe you can talk a little bit about the blocks and, what would you say to anyone that it feels right for or aligns or it's speaking to?
I was thinking about this earlier. One of my biggest blocks actually with Inspire was not even the fact that I didn't want to be a yoga teacher. That wasn't the thing. It was like, I actually don't know whether my life is crap enough for me to come in and do an inner work program. I was looking at everyone else in the screen. I was like, man, these guys, are really healing some shit, and I'm in a pretty good place. So, everything's okay, like nothing to see here type of thing. And the learning was, I speak about this from my own experience, like there's never a point in life where you don't need some sort of inner work or that you're ever done with the work. And you don't have to be in a really awful place to do any of these programs. And if your life is good at the moment, and I'm sure there's stuff you want to work on, like I had to ask myself, like, okay, well, here's where I am now, how much better can life get? And actually, it's like I had that mindset, and as I got into it, I was like, wow, there's so much that I need to heal. And what I didn't realize was at the time I was kind of just sticking my head in the sand, and I was running the same system which had always worked for me, which was basically persist, carry on, be determined, like get to the goal, and just kind of ignore everything that's going on in the periphery. And that had worked for so many years of my life. It had got me through all my like traumas with a big T, and it didn't work at the time when I found Inspire. Basically, I think that was what I was realizing was like I really need something deeper. And I needed someone and a community that was going to see past my bullshit, basically. And that's why I've stuck around, because I can't find a community like this elsewhere.
Mm. What would you say to anyone considering it?
I would say look at like yourself now, as on the kind of the brink of the unknown, whether you've like just found this work or you're in one or you've done some of this stuff before. And realize that like it's taken you might not have like arrived here, you might not have sailed here, like it might have been a bit of a battle to get here, or it might not have been, but look at yourself on the step of the unknown and be like, I've come such a long way, I'm already in this process. Perhaps my next step is to go forward. And ultimately I do believe like the body is the most intelligent decision maker ever. Here generally is like it's love, and here is fear. And I think success is a balance of the two, but in this sort of thing, if I'd listened to my head, I'd never have come in here. I just went with what was going through my heart. And at this point, I every time I come to a renewal, every time I come to a decision, it's like, what did I actually come into this process for? What did I come into this session, this masterclass, this program for? And am I doing justice to the version of me who wherever it was 6 months, 12 months ago, came in and made that decision? And I think it's a constant process of like, am I here battling the same voices as I was 6 months ago? And if so, then my work is to make that change. And I think that's what's kept me going and kept me here. Yeah.
And I think there's something you just reminded me of something you used to say before in one of the previous testimonials, like don't let the thing that you came here to heal be the reason you don't actually take the step forwards. And I really love that. Lizzie, thank you so much for being here, and I value your time. I know you've got stuff going on, and always inspired by your journey. I know you kind of didn't really go into the details there, but she's literally paving the path there with a rare genetic disorder, and she's creating this business that is helping other people also get on the healing journey, with that condition. So Lizzie, thank you so much. Give a round of applause and some love. Thank you, Lizzie.